With an estimated 33 million people living with HIV by the end of 2007, the AIDS epidemic represents the world's greatest challenge of our time. Winning the fight against this deadly disease takes a concerted effort by every member of society. Every child, woman and man has to be involved to his or her own capacity. The Total Control of the Epidemic program, TCE, was introduced in the year 2000 based on the understanding that only people can liberate themselves from HIV and AIDS. TCE divides countries into geographical areas of 100,000 people, which again are subdivided into fields of 2,000 people. For each field, 50 local field officers are recruited and trained to conduct an intensive 3-year campaign, which includes individual counseling and mobilization as one of the program's core interventions. Since the inception of the TCE program in Zimbabwe in year 2000, TCE has globally covered more than 8 million people in the countries Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Botswana, South Africa, Malawi, Angola, Namibia, Zambia, India and China. Since the beginning of TCE, 11 million counseling sessions have been carried out by field officers. 3 million participants have developed an individual risk reduction plan. 800,000 women have been referred to prevention of mother-to-child transmission programs. 1 million people have accessed voluntary counseling and testing. And 44 million condoms have been distributed. During the past 8 years, more than 4,000 TCE field officers have been recruited and trained to counsel and mobilize people to be in control of HIV and AIDS. The positive effects of the TCE campaign has become evident.
Zambiri zimene zikuonetsa kusinthika kunoko chifukwa chakuti miyoyo ya anthu kumbuyo umbuli unalipo wakungochita zinthu mosatha kuzindikira kuti ndingapangeza mtundu wanji. Koma panopo munthu atalangizidwa kuti edzi tikuyenera kuipewa motere, tikuyenera kuipewa motere. Ngakhale odwala amene matendawo akuthaso kudziwa kudzisamalira kwake. Mwina ndi njira imene yotha kupezera umunthu wake kuti kaumoyo kakhalepo. Ndithu. Kusonyeza kuti bungweli lathandiza gawo lalikulu kunoko chibwerereni kanthawi kokhaka.
TCE is successful because we build upon the people as the tools in the struggle against HIV and AIDS. Our field officers, they go out actually and find the people in the communities, and they work one-on-one to involve the people, so they're no longer victims of this disease. They actually take the struggle in their hands. They can help themselves, their families, and in turn their communities.
My main task as a Corps Commander is to make sure that we implement TCE according to the way it's being designed. That is to make total control of the epidemic in a catchment area of 100,000 people. And at the end of the 3 years is to make sure that 80% of the population, they are TC compliant. And when you talk about TC compliant, it means people in that catchment area, they know all about information about HIV/AIDS, and they live according to their HIV status. They know even their HIV status, and they should join the movement to be passionate.
The TCE field officers represent the backbone of the program. Equipped with a map, a household register, an individual assessment tool and counseling skills, the field officer walks through his field of 2,000 people, talking, listening, answering questions, and facilitating an open dialogue about safe sexual behavior.
We impart knowledge according to the person. Let's say a pregnant woman. We advise, if the woman is pregnant, we advise her to go for an HIV test.
I found 3 children who were left out. All the parents were dead because of the epidemic. So I gave them the example of myself because I don't have any parent. All my parents were all dead because of this epidemic. So I gave them the example of myself. I told them that they should rely on themselves. So they should have the garden so that they should maybe plant some vegetables. They are now happy because they are earning money through the vegetable garden which they are having.
As close collaborators to the field officers, you will find the passionate who volunteer to do multiple efforts to fight HIV and AIDS, backing up the field officer.
Naizetsa nabezeka ndika chirombo nanati nipikitsa kuti simapeto amwe wanu wonse kwa muneno khala munthu athanzi omasuka mudziya zakudya zakasintha ndiye tinalimbikitsidwadi timalima ndiwo za masamba.
One of the crucial elements of the TCE program is that it works with all pre-existing structures, be it private or governmental.
The community has been greatly influenced by the presence of TCM. I can confirm that because our statistics for testing, voluntary testing, have shot up. Fantastic. Because they were able to advise the patients to go for routine testing, rapid testing. With the introduction of rapid test, you could see that definitely there's behavioral change.
The TCE program is fully endorsed and supported by national AIDS councils and their respective governments.
The strength that I see with TCE is that because it's getting to the people themselves, unlike some of the programs where people have to access the information, they have to access the services, TCE is bringing the services to the doorstep. And this is where I'm saying, let's incorporate HIV testing as part of the counseling strategy. We want the model of TCE being scaled up countrywide.
TCE, the Human People to People program, is really holding the key. That is why we feel it is one of the most critical programs that any country that is suffering under the epidemic should have in place.
TCE has so far been implemented in 10 countries. However, we are now starting to see how more and more people, governments of Africa and Asia, and international institutions are joining hands and acting in the common direction of achieving TCE, total control of the epidemic. TCE is easily transferable across borders and can be an effective vehicle for scaling up a comprehensive and people-driven response to the AIDS epidemic worldwide.